Part 112. The House of Everything I Created. Author, Yinian Luan Tianji. Chapter 1111. He felt a familiar yet strange power. True destiny, the power of true destiny. How is it possible? How can the true destiny and the power of true destiny be born in the land of life? But all the impossibilities cannot cover up the facts. This majestic purifying power even enveloped Fan Zhenji. He smelled the smell of death. Although the true destiny is strong, there is also a huge problem. The difference in size will cause the true destiny to counteract each other. He has seen that the power of the entire central continent has merged into one. Countless truths seem to be integrated together. An inexplicable sun exists in the origin of the central continent and the hearts of all living beings. That sun, driven by the entire land of life, temporarily evolved into the true destiny and the power of true destiny. Facing this true destiny that rejects everything, Zhenji did not dare to be careless. A purple light permeated his body, and in an instant, he turned into a purple crystal. The light that purifies everything fell on him, and he was immediately dyed pure white. But this piece of pure white only covered his body, and the distortion and collision with his true power. At this time, an amazing scene appeared above the central continent. A piece of pure white light lifted up a huge river, and continuously drove it to the outside world. In this huge river, a huge figure shrouded in purple light walked out. The purple crystals are constantly proliferating, and there is a huge collision with the white light. Every moment of collision will set off a series of fine explosions. The huge purple light is competing with the pure white light for power. This terrifying scene made all the strong men in the central continent shrink their pupils. This is the power of the entire land of life, and it is also an attack formed by the huge power gathered in the moment when the central divine dynasty was established. It can be said to be the strongest attack in the entire land of life. But now, the mysterious purple crystal-like person actually blocked this incomparable attack. The violent power made everyone tremble all over, revealing a trace of fear. The idea of the God Emperor Dragon sounded in everyone's mind. Everyone, do your best, don't hold back. That is definitely the existence behind the Reaper. A kind of fear filled everyone's heart, and they all felt that death was looming over them. As long as there is any mistake, death will be waiting for them, without exception. The entire central continent entered a life and death crisis at this moment. Everyone realized the danger. If they could not completely expel this mysterious enemy, they would face a life and death crisis. All the lives on the continent felt the trembling of the sun in their hearts, and a message was transmitted to their hearts. The world needs your spiritual power, pray to the sun, to protect everyone. Countless lives felt that infinite danger was coming, and that danger made them fear from instinct. Without any hesitation, everyone began to look up at the sun in their hearts and began to pray. Take my power and protect our world. Under the life and death situation, trillions of lives burst out with infinite spiritual brilliance. The brilliance of the soul merged into the huge sun, and in an instant, infinite light. The sun's radiance reached its peak, and the pure white purifying light seemed to have turned into flames. It bloomed from the central continent, destroying and burning everything that did not belong to the land of life where the central continent was located. The majestic thrust completely pushed the endless river, causing it to leave the land of life in the central continent. Zhenji in the endless river also felt boundless danger and pressure. The crystals around him were twisted and dissolved under the infinite flames. And he himself was pushed out of the entire land of life along with the endless river. This change made him extremely angry, but he could do nothing about it. The spiritual power of all lives in the entire land of life, even he could not ignore it, and he had to pay attention to it. What's more, the power of the entire land of life was gathered, and even the prototype of the true destiny was deduced. With the infinite spiritual power, he almost exerted the power of the true destiny. Even his true destiny fell into a disadvantage, and the effect of the true destiny began to be distorted. There are mainly two situations in the battle between the true destiny. When the injected spiritual power is the same, the level of the true destiny itself is the factor that determines the battle. In other words, the foundation of spiritual power can make up for the difference in the level of the true destiny. The stronger and deeper the spiritual power is, the stronger the power that the true destiny can exert is. Because the power of the true destiny itself is infinite, the actual combat power depends on the depth of the spiritual power. And now, his true destiny is obviously higher than the prototype of the true destiny that has just appeared. But his foundation seems to be a little worse than the entire land of life, unless he is willing to take out all his foundation. So, in the end, he and the endless river were forced out of this land of life. Even the strange power under the land of life where the central continent is located was pushed out of this land of life by Pangbo's purification flame. The entire land of life was completely wrapped in the purifying light, and all the power that did not belong to this world was expelled. At this time, a wonderful thing happened. All the rules and brilliant lights are shrouded by the purifying light. A huge pure white network connects every corner, every substance, and every particle of the land of life. All life seems to be connected at this moment, and a mysterious network covers the land of life where the entire central continent is located. Observing from the empty outside the land of life, you will find that the land of life in the central continent at this time is shrouded in a pure white light. This light is so mysterious and dazzling, as if a huge star is burning in the empty. At this time, an endless river appeared outside the star. It has no source and no end. Only an inexplicable long river appeared here. This endless river is a lonely section that was excluded by this purifying light. The white star is moving slowly, moving in the air with incredible power. The coordinates that cannot be crossed are torn into pieces by the power of purification. It is constantly moving away from the endless river. And in the endless river, Genji's eyes revealed a trace of shock. How is it possible? The land of life actually condensed the true destiny. And it has to forcefully break free from the shackles of the endless river. Incredible, is this a miracle? Countless questions flashed through his mind, and Genji took a deep breath, with shock in his eyes. The House of Everything I Created. Author, Yinian Luan Tianji. Chapter 1112. The next moment, a magnificent purple light rose from his body. In the deepest part of his soul, countless foundations surged out and rushed into his true destiny. The next moment, infinite purple crystals spread out from his body and turned into an infinite huge palm. The palm stretched out the endless river, crossed the coordinates that could not be crossed in the air, and grabbed the huge white star. Genji's face showed solemnity, and the true destiny of the world made him feel dangerous. The giant that fell from the sky grabbed the huge white star. Countless purifying flames burned the giant palm like a green crystal crazily, and the terrifying force dragged the star to pull it back to the endless river. The two fell into an endless fight. At this time, the void also received information from the central continent. The mastermind behind the harvester has appeared. In the Superworld Alliance, the huge golden palace bloomed with infinite brilliance, and figures gathered here one after another. They all received information from the central continent. The operator emperor said with his mind. The central continent sent a message for help. The mastermind behind the harvester has appeared. Start voting now. Should we help? Start voting. A huge torrent of thoughts quickly gathered above the palace. 500 billion thoughts quickly formed two torrents. One torrent refused to help and waited and watched. One torrent decided to help, and the lips and teeth would be cold. The number of torrents that finally helped was far greater than the number that refused. The Superworld Alliance made a decision in an instant. The next moment, the Covenant began to operate, and all the rules of the entire superworld merged into one. An unimaginable force was brewing, and then it rose from the sky above the Golden Palace. A huge hole appeared above, and a connecting channel opened there. Where the central continent is located, the heart of the god Emperor Dragon moved. He felt a force that wanted to appear in the central continent. He moved slightly in his heart. The power of the void has been delivered and is ready to connect to the world's true destiny. At this moment, at the moment when the purified true destiny condensed, all the strong men knew its existence and name. In an instant, a void appeared in the sun in the mind. The magnificent spiritual energy was injected into it, and the purifying light burst out again. This time it was the magnificent power from the two life lands. The purple crystal giant hand grasping the central continent had already melted to a certain extent under the repulsion of purification. At this time, the power of purification surged nearly times again. The purple giant hand was completely submerged by the white light. Then, it shattered with a bang, and the white star emitted a dazzling light. Under the will of the god Emperor Dragon, the star-like lifeland of the central continent made an amazing move. It shook violently and crashed into the endless river, falling like a meteorite. The boundless and terrifying power seemed to tear everything apart. At this time, Genji's true destiny power was broken, causing his face to tremble slightly. 50% of the power was consumed, and it would take a long time to recover. Facing the huge white star coming towards him, he chose to retreat with a sullen face. Following the torrent of the endless river, he disappeared in this area. The next moment, the huge white star hit the endless river heavily. The extremely terrifying purification flames rose wildly, sweeping and impacting everything. Everything was directly destroyed, and nothing existed. Even the endless river was broken and evaporated under the brilliance of the purifying flame. This section of the endless river collapsed amazingly. Endless black river water surged out from the gap where the endless river broke. In the pure emptiness, countless scattered black river water appeared, making this place a mess. The star covered by the purification light also slowly dimmed at this time. The power infusion from the void has disappeared, and countless lives on the central continent have suffered trauma. The heavy collision just now, an invisible force, along with the purification true fate, was transmitted to the hearts of all the lives in the central continent. Every life felt that their hearts were shaky, as if they had suffered some kind of severe injury. Although they had suffered severe injuries, the crisis of life and death had disappeared, at least they had avoided the result of despair. Everyone realized that they had escaped. Is it safe? Is it over? Are we saved? Countless lives were asking, confused, looking at the sun in their hearts that had dimmed countless times. At this time, the sun seemed to have turned into an illusory shadow, and the purifying light had slowly disappeared. The will of the god Emperor Dragon echoed in the minds of all lives. The supreme divine dynasty was established. From now on, the place where we are is called the Purification Divine Dynasty. We have condensed the true destiny of the world. As long as we are united, we can rely on the true destiny of the world to resist all dangers from the outside world. Cheer, people of the divine dynasty. Along with the will of the god Emperor Dragon, countless people cheered. At this time, many bigwigs of the Purification dynasty all began to study the true destiny that appeared in the hearts of all living beings, purification. It was the product of countless ages of accumulation from the entire central continent. Similarly, the true destiny guided them on the road, and they vaguely knew how to move forward in the future. Their respective truths had already reached the limit of transformation, and now they finally saw the result of the final transformation, the true destiny. Although this true destiny is the true destiny of the world and does not belong to any of them. But it contains their truths, and they vaguely realized their own truths and how to transform. Not only the bigwigs of the central continent, but even in the void, the Superworld Alliance also realized the path of the true destiny. Especially the mysterious operator Huang, although he had long been a betrayer, when he saw the road ahead, he saw a new hope and other ideas. Maybe, the void can also condense the true destiny of the world. Here, I am the only one who has reached the fourth level of spiritual guidance. Once the true destiny of the world is condensed, maybe I can snatch it and merge it with my mind. I can get out of this cage and escape. With countless hopes flashing in his eyes, he immediately activated his authority. The world's true destiny in the central continent defeated the mastermind behind the harvesters. I strongly suggest building the world's true destiny in the void superworld. This will be our last hope. Second. 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 The whole palace was filled with a unified voice, and no one objected. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The House of Everything I Created. Author, Xuanhuan Luan Tianji. Chapter 1113. The power of the true fate, they saw it in their eyes, that was the only hope. At this time, Lin Yi of Xuanhuan fell into thought. The true fate of the world, I really didn't expect them to be able to create such a thing, this is really unexpected, but can the true fate be created so easily? There was a light in his eyes. He also felt the will of the Superworld Alliance. But his hunch is that they will not succeed so easily. The reason is very simple, the foundation of the central continent is far stronger than the void. The most important thing is, the 3,000 oldest demons in the central continent. Each of them has reached the end of their road, and even has undergone a transformation, and is already in the state of a half-true life prototype. And the number has reached 3,000. The eternal nature that constitutes the one-element rule is not an ordinary eternal nature, but an eternal nature at the level of the eternal will. The rules evolved from this eternal nature are far stronger than the rules evolved from the eternal nature of the void strongmen. The two places of life, maybe there is no difference in the world itself, but the spiritual level and quality of the life in them are at least 10 times different. The condensation of true destiny depends more on the quality and level of the soul of life, as well as the depth of its own truth. Whether it can promote everything in the entire land of life and produce the final transformation. However, although K-Lan is not optimistic about the possibility of the void life condensing true destiny. But this made him see a glimmer of possibility. This glimmer of possibility means that as long as there are enough lands of life, it is possible to condense a large number of world true destiny. Then use the entire world as the foundation and the true destiny as a weapon to launch a counterattack against the Holy Land. He has clearly realized that it is almost impossible for others to condense true destiny by themselves except himself. At least it is absolutely impossible in a short period of time, and it will take a long time to do it. Thinking of this, a trace of solemnity appeared in his eyes. Maybe it's an opportunity. It's the quality of the rules and the quality of life that the central continent is strong in. But the strength of the void lies in the number of eternal properties. One quality, one quantity, it's not completely without a chance. Next, it depends on whether they have seen a little mystery of the true destiny of the central continent. Thinking of this, Lin Yi watched the changes quietly and had no intention of intervening. His eyes have fallen on the central continent again. At the moment when the opponent's true destiny power appeared, the note left by Lin Yi was also purified and destroyed. However, the coordinates of the central continent did not change. The power of the wish shrine was activated again, and the power of the note appeared in the central continent. All the notes were shrouded in the boundless power of true destiny. At this time, the central continent, although the power of purifying true destiny has weakened countless times. But the entire land of life is still shrouded in a thin evolutionary power. This power is extremely powerful. Any abnormality will be discovered, sensed, and then destroyed as long as it enters it. So the weird power cannot enter here either. Only the power of the same true destiny can offset the nature of the power of evolution. The note descended again, and Sakuramiya Shirley and the others could start working again. At this time in the void, with the covenant as the starting point, countless spiritual powers were connected. It quickly spread to the entire void, and all rules were filled with spiritual power. All the lives in the superworld were connected together by the rules, including their minds were locked by this power. A magnificent force is condensing, and the covenant is shrouded by endless spiritual power. The covenant itself began to change wonderfully, and countless truths flowed out of the rules and poured into the covenant. Something unusual was brewing, attracting Lin Yi's attention. What is this? Can it really breed true destiny? At this time, the will of the emperor sounded in the hearts of countless lives. All lives, we were born in this land of life, and we have been harvested countless times. The enemies from the unknown land treated us as cattle and horses. If we don't make changes, our future will not change. In order to survive, all lives must contribute a part of their strength. Open your hearts and contribute our strength to the world. Use our hearts to change the destined ending. The vast will is showing countless lives the cruel fate of the past, which is despair itself. More than 2,000 harvests, the fall of trillions of lives. This cry was transmitted to the void, every corner of this land of life. In the dark, Lin Yi was surprised to find a change. Countless phantoms filled the void. These phantoms only had a vague outline, and even the mask could not see it. But in the eyes of Zhenming, he realized what it was. This was the life that had been harvested for countless years, the existence of death, the mark they left behind, existing in the void of life. This was the only thing they left, filled with their unwillingness, shouting, and sadness. At this time, with their appearance, the entire void seemed to have undergone a wonderful change. Countless marks were integrated into the rules, and wonderful things flowed into the covenant. Countless unwillingness and despair in the chaotic era affected the covenant. That was the life from more than 2,000 harvests, the existence that died in humiliation in one era after another, and the life whose soul was harvested by the creators. That was the torrent formed by the unwillingness of trillions of lives. And this torrent, in an irresistible form, is affecting the covenant. In the covenant, the power of 500 billion creators is being affected by this brand and unwillingness. The creators of the Superworld Alliance all felt something was wrong. But at this time, the torrent from countless eras could no longer resist them. Countless lives are opening their hearts, and the mighty changes are condensing at an unimaginable speed. A dark light appeared in the covenant, which was a true destiny that was extremely deep, terrifying and desperate. At the moment it was conceived, everyone knew what it represented. True destiny, entropy increase. Its power appeared in everyone's mind. It was a black sun, which was condensed from countless blood, death, despair, and fear. In front of this true destiny, everything will go to chaos and end. This is the end of everything. It seems to represent the absolute truth, which can never be changed. When Lin Yi saw the information of this true destiny, he was extremely shocked. He didn't expect that the true destiny condensed in the void would be such a thing, entropy increase. This is the destiny that is destined for everything. The house of everything I created. Author, Yinian Luan Tianji. Chapter 1114. This reminded him of the information he had received on Earth. The end of all universes stems from entropy increase, which is an irreversible and inevitable ending. This power of true destiny made Lin Yi feel creepy. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow. It's incredible that such a thing was condensed. This desperate true destiny made the entire void fall into silence. All members of the Superworld Alliance felt the horror of this true destiny. Everyone saw the black sun in their hearts. The first true destiny that appeared was madly blooming with power, as if to announce its arrival to all things. A piece of pure black spread to the entire void with the Superworld Alliance as the center. All things or existences that do not belong to the void are heading towards self-chaos and collapse under the power of entropy increase. There is not even the slightest resistance. Just touching this black light will disintegrate from the inside. The power of the true destiny is irresistible, and the endless river lying across the void is also heading for collapse under the influence of this power. Even the endless river has not been excluded from the land of lifelike purification, but has already headed for destruction. The strange sea at the bottom of the life void is also constantly disintegrating under the black light, and finally collapsed and was destroyed. The land of life shrouded in black, the void, seems to have completely gotten rid of the fixation of a certain force. Begin to move in the void. The central continent, the Purification Dynasty, which has just recovered from the purification of the true destiny. They also noticed the changes in the void. It was a true destiny that was like despair, which made them feel extremely terrified even if they condensed the purification. Is this the essence of the void? It's really a cruel place. The god Emperor Dragon and the demon gods of the god dynasty looked at the direction of the void thoughtfully. At this time, Lin Yi of the Wanchaiwu watched the scene quietly. Whether it is purification or entropy increase, they are all true destiny condensed by countless lives in the world. From it, he saw great potential. It is not inferior to the true destiny held by the sub-true or true people in the Holy Land. Even if it is his own true destiny, it is not more powerful than these two mysterious world true destiny. He pursues personal transcendence, while the world true destiny seems to pursue self-salvation, and the directions of the two seem to be different. Indistinctly, Lin Yi noticed a problem. The direction of true destiny is different, the purpose is different, and the condensed true destiny may be different. So once the true destiny goes in the wrong direction, it may go to destruction. So that's it, so the Yiling Jing is the truly perfect path. As long as the true destiny is infinitely condensed successfully, it means that from now on it will be free from all constraints and have all possibilities. Facing these purely destructive true destiny, it has no effect on me. No matter how gorgeous, fierce, or powerful the true destiny is, it has flaws. And my system is unlimited. The mystery of true destiny is not in strength, but in perfection. In an instant, Lin Yi seemed to have figured something out. The world's true destiny has been successfully condensed, which means that a counterattack against the Holy Land is possible. The next thing to do is to find more powerful life places. Help them condense their own world's true destiny, and then let them form an alliance. Form a force that can truly compete with the Holy Land. Buy time for my path. With a complete strategic idea in mind, Lin Yi showed a faint smile on his face. In the Endless River, a fierce war is taking place on the front line of the Endless Fortress. Countless glories are colliding with the harvesters. Just when the war was in full swing, the Endless River trembled violently. The water flow of the Endless River began to dry up rapidly. A torrent washed over and flowed into the Sea of Eternity. Immediately afterwards, the entire Endless River dried up, and there was no more river water. The Endless Fortress was suspended alone in the Endless River. The harvesters also paused briefly after the Endless River dried up. They seemed to have never encountered such a change. In the Galaxy Palace, Galaxy was horrified. What's going on? A note appeared here silently. The void has undergone a major change, and the Endless River has been destroyed. The void is escaping from the control of the Endless River. The front line has become an isolated island. Looking at the content on the note, Galaxy's face was stiff and incredible. What on earth is going on? He wrote down the question on the note. The specific situation is very complicated and cannot be explained in one sentence. But now you have become homeless. So do you want to make a deal? At this time, Galaxy's heart was confused, and countless questions flashed through his mind. His face changed. What do you want to do? It's very simple, from now on. Everyone in the Endless Fortress must sign a contract with me. Serve me for 1 trillion years. What I will give you is to save you from the Endless River. Soon the strong men of the Holy Land will come, and you are on their way. I don't need to say more about the result, you should understand what it will be like. Ying He's face immediately turned gloomy. He had heard the meaning of Lin Yi's words. If he refused, they would face death. After taking a deep breath, Yin He said slowly, "I want to discuss with them. Please." Yin He looked at the note in front of him, and a magnificent will instantly filled the entire endless fortress. The next moment, all the strong men in the fortress were in an uproar. Everyone had an unimaginable fear in their hearts. The void was separated from the endless river, which meant that they would never think of going back. In front of the endless river was the mysterious eternal sea. There were countless small and large harvesters there. There was no other possibility except accelerating death. Even if they drove the fortress over, the ending could only last for a while longer. Because they would lose the supply from behind. The consumption of mental power in this kind of battle was very terrifying. Without the support from behind, it would be impossible to persist. Relying purely on self-recovery, that was far from enough. At this time, Lin Yi's condition seemed to be the only way to survive. Almost 90% of the Void creators who came here had signed a contract with Lin Yi. It was precisely relying on this contract that many of them were able to enter the third level of the mind. So they did not have much resistance to signing the contract again. Moreover, serving for 1,000,000,000,000 years seemed like a long time, but in fact it was just a period of time for them. The House of Everything I Created. Author, Yinian Luan Tianji. Chapter 1115. After all, they have infinite life, which is not unacceptable. The people who were originally stationed in the endless river had some ideas. However, after Yin He told them the detailed terms of serving Lin Yi, these people also gave up the last struggle in their hearts. Because Lin Yi only needed them to complete various tasks for him. Such tasks basically would not pose much threat to them. Because they were all asked to complete the wishes of various low-level lives and exchange the spiritual essence of those low-level creatures. There would also be some special tasks that Lin Yi gave them that were not necessarily fatal. This left a lot of room for maneuver, and everyone put down their resistance in their hearts. Finally, in the entire endless fortress, 1.01 billion strong men above the third level of the mind decided to accept Lin Yi's recruitment. On a note, the names of all the strong men in the fortress appeared. As the note slowly ignited, Lin Yi and these warriors in the endless river signed an unbreakable contract. The two quickly connected, and a gate formed by a wish shrine and a random door appeared on the endless fortress. The gate opened, and the warriors quickly entered the gate and disappeared. They did not enter the Wanchaiwu, but entered another gate at the same time. That gate connected to a destroyed land of life, where Lin Yi's clone was. This was exactly what Lin Yi discovered, a land of marine life that was completely occupied and destroyed by the weird and the harvester. At this time, Lin Yi planned to create a brand new time and space here. More than 1 billion strong men came here. Lin Yi's figure appeared in their sight. Lin Yi said calmly, "Everyone, this is a brand new land of life. The same place as the void. But this land of life has been completely destroyed. What we have to do next is very simple. Restore the prosperity of this land of life. Restore it bit by bit." As he said, Lin Yi told all the strong men who came here about the past of this ocean world. At the same time, he said, "But I will not let you start from scratch. I have the coordinates of the void here, and we can still return to the void. You can move your original forces and subordinates in the void here. The void is vast and boundless, and there will be no problem without you. And this is a complete land of life, although there are weirdness and harvesters. But with my help, this place will be conquered by us soon. This land of life will become a brand new house of everything. It will connect to all the lands of life and establish a huge alliance. Fight against the black hands behind the harvesters and weirdness." At this time, Lin Yi had made a decision. He wanted to turn a land of life into a house of everything. The more than 1 billion strong men who came here were surprised to hear Lin Yi's words. But soon they made a decision in their hearts. Moving their subordinates in the void here can at least form the volume of 1 billion huge life nests, and rebuild the life system of this land of life. Then use this as the center to revitalize this land of life. The brilliance of their souls has seen the situation outside through this temporary time and space. This is a dry land of life. No life lives here, and even the rules have disappeared from this land of life. Only ruins without any rules remain. There are not many strange phenomena. There is no trace of the endless river above this land of life. Obviously, after the harvest, both the weird and the harvester chose to leave. However, they also vaguely discovered that in some hidden corners of this world, there are still some traces of life left. Obviously, this land of life is not completely dead. In their opinion, this may be left deliberately by the harvester and the weird. In order to let life take root again, come to harvest again at some time in the future. That also means that this is a relatively safe place. Because it has been harvested once, the danger will not come for the time being. Everyone was excited, which means that they will have a long time to develop. At this time, Lin Yi's thoughts also sounded in their hearts again. Then now, I will open the passage to the void for you. The next thing you have to do is to migrate and bring your people here. Get ready to start rebuilding this land of marine life. This is a huge project. Through the Wanchaiwu, these strong men in the endless fortress once again returned to the void. Their return naturally attracted the attention of the Super World Alliance. In the palace of the Super World Alliance, Lin Yi's figure appeared here. His eyes looked at all the members of the Super World Alliance. Members of the Super World Alliance, I am very happy to see you again. Because the endless river was expelled, the resistance in the endless fortress were abandoned there, and their lives and deaths were at their own risk. I used my own power to reach an agreement with them. From now on, they are all workers in my Wanchaiwu. They will serve me for 1 trillion years. They are back now to receive their past wealth. I hope you won't stop me. Do you understand? At this time, Lin Yi was smiling and polite. But everyone could feel the hideousness behind this smile. Especially those who had signed a contract with Lin Yi were more vigilant. The contract Lin Yi signed with them was to make a move once, and the content could be ever-changing. If they made a move, Lin Yi could even ask them to kill those who disturbed his plan. This formed a strong deterrent, and no one dared to act rashly. Those who did not sign the contract naturally heard that Lin Yi had signed a contract with a large number of creators. Therefore, they were also very cautious and did not speak about it at all. Lin Yi smiled slightly. The void super world, since it has condensed the true destiny of the world. I will tell you some more profound news. Also let you know who the real enemy is. As he said, he raised his hand and waved, and a huge strange continent appeared in their sight. It was a huge world made up of countless weird things, with countless terrifying auras flashing. At this time, countless holes were appearing on the weird continent, connecting with the Holy Land. In the holes, the soldiers of the Holy Land were shrouded in infinite mysterious power, colliding with countless weird things. Those soldiers were incredibly powerful. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The House of Everything I Created. Author, Yinian Luan Tianji. Chapter 1116. Does the Holy Land have such terrifying power? The legendary mastermind, is this their power? The existence that brought countless disasters. The information Lin Yi showed caused the entire Super World Alliance to fall into a brief chaos. For the first time, they deeply realized what fear is. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow. The power shrouded by those soldiers was not something they could resist at all. At this time, Lin Yi's voice sounded slowly. Next, I will look for more places of life. Tell them the method to condense the true destiny of the world. Then through me, you can connect with each other. Just like with the lifeland of the central continent, form an offensive and defensive alliance. You have also seen the power of the Holy Land. That kind of power is the true destiny. What you see is just the tip of the iceberg. But before that, you must hide well. Now you have escaped from the endless river, and there are strange constraints. You and the central continent continue to maintain an offensive and defensive alliance. Accumulate strength quietly. In the future, we will have the opportunity to counterattack the Holy Land. Of course, you can also choose to surrender. But you have also seen the situation of the Holy Land. All non-real and sub-real existences, no one can live forever. Cannon fodder will always be digested in various wars and become food for them who are all real people and sub-real. So self-help is your only way to survive. Well, I wish you good luck. I also have to go to work. In the palace of the Superworld Alliance, Lin Yi left a faint and calm word. Everyone fell into deep contemplation. Everything was so terrifying, and the future was dark. Even though they had understood that the source of power of these real people and sub-real people was also the true destiny, they also felt the pressure coming. They already knew that the mysterious existence that attacked the central land of life should be a sub-real person in the Holy Land. What does this mean? They knew it very well. The existence in the Holy Land could come at any time. Originally, after the condensation of the world's true destiny, there was also an undercurrent in the Superworld Alliance. Various small factions were constantly communicating, and some people had already had ideas. But now, the information from Lin Yi directly smashed all their ideas into pieces. The Holy Land was like a bottle of Spartan sword. The only thing they could do now was to unite as one and prepare to deal with this disaster that destroyed everything. Everyone felt the danger, and their eyes were solemn. Some smart people have begun to contact the creators in the Endless Fortress. But they couldn't find out anything. Limited by the contract, the creators who were conquered by Lin Yi could not reveal any news. A large number of subordinates who originally belonged to these creators were put into one small world after another under the power of these creators. They were forcibly relocated without any choice. This is the intimidation of the creators to them. In the land of marine life, deep underground, there appeared one small world after another. These small worlds were all created by the creators temporarily using the power of the mind. Some of the purposes are to move their subordinates. At this time, under the order of Lin Yi, these creators mobilized their own spiritual power. The majestic spiritual power spread in the underground lava. One underground space after another began to appear, and the power of the lava was reshaped by the power of the mind and became the constant temperature mechanism of the underground world. One cave world after another was built. The subordinates and people moved by these creators were all arranged in these rock wall worlds. With the experience of these creators, it is too easy to create an underground world suitable for the reproduction of life. And this is not one layer, but hundreds of layers of underground worlds, spreading from the surface of the lava to the surface of the ground, or the seabed of the land of marine life. The land of life in the ocean world is very strange. It is like a huge bowl. It is just that the bottom is very deep, the sides are relatively thin, and the middle was originally infinite sea water. However, under the attack of the harvester and the weird, with the disappearance of the rules, the sea water no longer exists. It has been reintegrated into the origin of the land of life. Matter and energy will not disappear directly, because the weird and the harvester will not destroy the basic structure of the land of life. So every time it is harvested, the land of life will eventually recover. All this is not without reason. At this time, the arrival of more than 1 billion spiritual level strongmen is accelerating the recovery of this land of life. However, because there are still many weird phenomena left, Lin Yi is very cautious when arranging the work of these strong men. He has a strange idea in his mind at this time. If it is realized, it will have incredible effects. Under the power of more than 1 billion strong men, the structure of this land of life has begun to change. The original bowl-shaped structure, the thickness of the ground only occupies 1/10 of the volume of the ocean at most. But now the ground is slowly rising, encroaching on the area that originally belonged to the ocean. Soon, this area occupied half the volume of the original ocean area. Under the ground, there are huge holes, which are connected by channels, forming a huge underground world. In this underground world, there are also water systems connected to each hole. A brand new ecology is spreading rapidly underground. Billions of eternal properties are intertwined and gradually merged with this land of marine life to form a brand new network of rules. At the same time, the cultivation concept from the central continent was also taught to these creators by Lin Yi. Especially the dozen or so fourth-level spiritual masters in the original resistance organization, led by Galaxy. They have already completed the eternal properties of 9 eternal wheels. They have even condensed their own eternal souls, that is, the original crystal of the soul. But they have never been able to take the last step and are trapped in this realm. But now, the cultivation method of the central continent has brought them hope. They also began to create their own lives, relying on their own eternal properties. Then, through the connection between the rules and these lives, they began to borrow the wisdom of all living beings to improve the defects that they could not find. The glimmer of light in the hearts of all living beings is the greatest miracle, the miracle of life, the miracle of creating something out of nothing. All the creators and the original resistors have seen hope. They are constantly making plans, even merging the races under their command to produce a new generation of nations. Let all the lives in this world flow with their blood. The House of Everything I Created. Author, Yinian Luan Tianji. Chapter 1117. This also makes it easier for them to perfect their own path. Depending on the coordinates, the flow rate of time is also different. Even in 2 different places of life, the time between them may be reversed. For example, during this period, the flow rate of A is much higher than that of B. In the next period, A's time flow rate may be much smaller than B's. Of course, this is a phenomenon that only occurs when comparing horizontally. If there is no comparison, there will not even be such a concept of time flow being disordered. SeaWorld's rescue is on track, but it will take quite some time to truly recover. At this time, the original clone in the Endless River has returned. The clone came directly to the land of ocean life through the Wish Shrine. The strange abyss connected through the ocean land once again stepped into the strange ocean at the source of the abyss. He carries 3 original crystal weapons, filled with extremely powerful aura. But under the cover of true destiny, there will be no trace. After a few vertical and horizontal movements, the clone disappeared here. He is continuing to search for a brand new place of life along the barrier of the strange source. This is a long process and requires a lot of time to search one by one. Holy Land, Tianling Mountain. As soon as he returned here, his expression was very solemn. Master Deja looked at Genji in front of him, with a hint of surprise in his eyes. You're actually hurt? Yes, real person. I'm afraid we're in big trouble this time. Huh? What's the trouble? A kind of world's true destiny appears in the central continent. It is something that is produced by the hearts of all life in the entire land of life and the rules of eternal nature that operate in the land of life. The true destiny of the world can be said to be composed of countless eternal qualities. Far more complex than the real life we make up. I felt hugely threatened. In the collision with the true destiny of the world, I was suppressed to a certain extent. And because of the true destiny of the world, the land of life where the central continent is located is even separated from the endless river, and it still has strange constraints. However, I already have their coordinates. What should we do next? Genji looked at Deja's real person. Deja's real person, at this time, the picture of the collision between Genji and the real life of the world has emerged in his mind. At his level, he can already receive invisible information and restore the truth of everything. Especially after Genji narrated the whole process, everything naturally had no secrets in his eyes. He even saw the various rules of the original perfect cycle in the central continent, and there was a trace of solemnity in his eyes. A ball of purified life appeared in his mind, so huge that he couldn't see it clearly. But he also noticed the real problem. There is something wrong with the true destiny of this world. It is forcibly condensed by countless rules, eternal nature, and the spiritual power of all living beings. Because it is the forcible fusion of the eternal nature of the souls of all living beings. So it is in the transitional state of the prototype of true life transforming into true life, and it is almost impossible to turn into real true life. You and I both understand that the formation of true life must be based on one's own soul. Accommodates the lowest 49 eternal qualities, and finally gives birth to the prototype of true life. Only by watering it with infinite spiritual power can it truly take shape. The most important one is the 49 eternal qualities, all of which must reach the level of the eternal will, and at the same time, they must be perfectly constructed to have unique characteristics. Use your infinite mind to water the transformation. In the process of transformation, there is a 1/trillion chance of success. Once we fail, we will die immediately. We are able to reach this position only because of the accumulation of countless corpses. In order to give birth to a unique thing, countless beings have sacrificed their lives. On the basis of countless failures, our current achievements have been accumulated. The 49 eternal qualities are the true destiny of the soul. The 72 eternal qualities are the eternal true destiny. The 81 eternal qualities are the supreme true destiny. The 108 eternal qualities are the supreme true destiny. In the entire Holy Land, for countless epochs, there are only 81 supreme true lives constructed of eternal nature. The supreme destiny only exists in legends, even if we have never seen it. A true life that can gather 49 rays and 72 rays of eternal nature can be called Yajin. A true life that can gather more than 81 eternal qualities can be called a real person. There are only 6 of us real people in the Holy Land for countless epochs. You can imagine the hardships involved. How many eternal qualities are contained in the world-class true life you have seen? They are countless. Even if the entire world is used as a carrier to withstand the backlash, it will never be able to give birth to a perfect true life. That world's true life has obvious flaws. This is because the fusion of the two huge eternal nature has produced a power that can rival the true life. If my prediction is correct, when the conception of true destiny in this world fails in the future, the entire land of life will die because of the failure of conception of true destiny. The way to your true destiny is the only way. If you don't achieve death, there will be no exceptions. Even the entire land of life will surely die. Everything that takes part in condensing the eternal nature of true life, even life, is bound to collapse and destruction. Those guys are already dead bones in the grave, and it's only a matter of time before they die. But their existence can't be left alone. It usually takes an era for the true destiny to be nurtured, during this period. It's hard to say that there won't be a genius born in that land of life. Because of the true destiny of the world, you can understand the principle of the formation of the true destiny and step into the only way. This matter is very important, don't reveal it to anyone for the time being. I will let Fangxing and Qi Yao go with you again. You must suppress the true destiny of the world with the power of thunder and bring it to me. Although it is only a prototype, there may be a way to break through the supreme true destiny. After all, countless eternal properties can exist in a balanced way, which is already extraordinary. When Genji heard this, his heart was shocked, and everyone wanted to go further, even him. In the legend, only those who truly stepped into the peak of the only can step into a place called truth. Only when they get there can they know what the true meaning of cultivation is. Genji nodded slightly, I understand. Daija nodded slightly, the road is rough, we need to encourage each other. During the time you are away, I will personally take action and use the power you left behind to cover up the traces of your departure. Be careful and don't reveal your whereabouts. The House of Everything I Created. Author, Yinian Luan Tianji. Chapter 1118. The latest chapter of the Wanchai Wu I Created is updated the fastest. Yes, real person. After receiving Dayage's order, Genji turned around and left here. He was going to find Fangxing and Qi Yao to leave together. Dayage's face was slightly serious, and he was illusory, and three figures walked out. A crystal ball appeared in the hands of each of the three people. The balls were divided into silver, purple, and sky blue, representing the power of Fangxing, Genji, and Qi Yao respectively. With the power they left behind, it can be covered for a while. Half a day and a night is enough. Genji left Tianling Mountain and went to a dark area below Tianling Mountain. There was a battlefield in the dark night, with Tianling Mountain as the center, and it was a magnificent war zone. Qi Yao and Fangxing were in the war zone. At this time, three figures jumped down from Tianling Mountain and also entered the war zone, heading in three different directions. In the darkness, cities exuded bright light. The radiances connected with each other, forming huge grids. Endless darkness enveloped the entire world, but in the huge grid radiance, everything in the darkness was clearly visible. At this time, next to a city, there was also a huge grid. Countless soldiers appeared in the sky of the grid. And all these soldiers were shrouded in a silver radiance. Under the silver radiance, they seemed to have turned into silver metal, possessing a state that was forever indestructible. This is the power of the stars, all things are eternal and indestructible. A huge abyss appeared under the grid, and infinite darkness permeated from it. A huge weird existence was rushing towards the sky frantically. What was waiting for them was the attack of countless spiritual powers, falling one after another. In the end, they were submerged and melted, and the weird essence was melted. The violent power cleansed any weird existence that wanted to rush into the Holy Land. But this could not completely prevent the weird invasion. There were still a large number of weirds that broke through the attack line. What greeted them were the soldiers of Tianling Mountain who had all turned into silver metal. As strong as metal, they had no fear at all when facing the weird. The only power fell on them, and there was no way to leave any trace. But their power fell on the weird, and they could kill them. This is the army blessed by the power of true destiny, which is incredibly powerful. But the weird is not without any way. A weird army with illusory bodies rushed up. They pounced together and instantly overlapped with the target. It seemed to rush into the bodies of these warriors. The warrior's breath began to change rapidly. His body even began to turn black, and this black was very illusory, as if it was a power that went straight to the heart. This was a collision of hearts. Although the eternal metal body was indestructible, it could not resist this collision at the purely spiritual level. The next moment, the silver metal warrior's aura suddenly disappeared, and his heart was broken. A weird black shadow flew out of his body and rushed towards the next target. The dead warrior shattered in mid-air and turned into countless fragments. The silver disappeared from his body the moment he died. His original body had no resistance in this battlefield and was torn to pieces. The cruelty of war is constantly unfolding in every corner. No matter it is weird or holy land, people die every moment. However, there is an upper limit to the number of holy lands and weirdness, and the total number does not exceed 10 billion. The largest number is the second level of the mind, about 700 million or 800 million. But this number of strong people is actually far less than the life land of the void. But the Holy Land can harvest the life land, which naturally has a unique secret. That is the blessing of the true destiny, which allows their combat power to be increased tenfold or 100-fold. Even an ordinary second-level spiritual strongman, with the blessing of the true destiny, can fight against the strong man of the fourth level of the mind. This is the tyranny and unreasonableness of the true destiny. At this time, in one direction of Tianling Mountain, there were two figures in the highest sky. They are Qiyao and Genji. At this time, Genji had already found Qiyao and conveyed Daeja's order. Qiyao frowned slightly, but what should I do if I leave? Although they were going to undergo a purge, they were defeated so quickly, I'm afraid it's not good to look at their face. The real person naturally has his considerations on this point. Look, isn't the means coming? An illusory figure came here silently. Fangxing, you and Genji go, I will deal with this. Fangxing looked at the incarnation of Daeja and nodded. Yes, your order. On the other side, Qiyao also saw the incarnation of Daeja, and after receiving the order, he gathered towards Genji and Fangxing. About dozens of minutes later, the three of them had quietly left the scope of the Holy Land. Standing in the Eternal Sea, Fangxing and Qiyao looked at Genji. You said that the central lifeland has been freed from the shackles of weirdness and the endless river. How do we get there now? First go to the place where the endless river breaks. Step into the empty plain, and then pass through the coordinates to reach the coordinate point near the central road. At that time, we will take action at the same time to suppress the true destiny of the world. Destroy the land of life in the central continent directly. Destroy. That is a place of entire life. It still takes a lot of energy to build a place of life. We only have 72 under Tianling Mountain. If it's ruined like this, the real person will be displeased, Fangxing said slightly worriedly. Genji shook his head, the most important thing now is the true destiny of the world. The real person may be able to glimpse the possibility of the supreme true destiny from above. It's just a place of life, it doesn't matter if you give it up. Qiyao on the side nodded, if the real person said it, then it doesn't matter. Let's go, the endless river is still some distance away. Three figures quietly rushed into the Eternal Sea. In the Holy Land, there is a huge Black Sea, and this is the territory of the Black Lady. There are countless islands in the ocean, and countless lights rise on each island, connecting with each other to form a huge network. There are also abyssal holes dotted all over the sea, and countless weird things rush out of them, trying to kill everyone. There are four figures in the sky here. They supervise the soldiers below with cold eyes and surround and suppress the strange intruders. The four figures in the sky continue to exert their true power, maintaining the advantage of the army and completely suppressing the strange power. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The House of Everything I Created. Author, Yinian Luan Tianji. Chapter 1119. On the land of Hainu Shi, Wei Yi was completely at a disadvantage. At this time, Hainu Shi looked towards the Eternal Sea, and her eyes flashed with an invisible light, as if she saw something. At this time, that guy actually let all his men go. It seems that something went wrong with the Eternal Sea, which attracted his attention. Thinking of this, Hainu Shi couldn't help but think deeply. This is really interesting. What does he want to do? A trace of solemnity appeared in his eyes, and countless questions flashed through his mind. This guy has always been a profitless person, and there must be some reason that prompted him to do this. Kuei Xing, come here. An inexplicable mental thought came to the mind of one of the Yajens on the Black Sea. A few minutes later, a woman in a black robe appeared in front of Hainu Shi. This woman had long black hair, white skin that was almost transparent, graceful figure, tall figure, more than 1.8 meters. Kuei Xing, I have a task for you. The man from Tianling Mountain has let all his men go. Go to the Eternal Sea, follow them and see what they want to do. Your power is most suitable for this. Kuei Xing nodded expressionlessly, yes, real person. The next moment, she had disappeared. She entered an unpredictable state and became invisible. In the eternal sea, Fangxing and the other two did not notice that a figure had appeared not far behind them. This figure followed closely behind them, like a ghost, without any breath leaking out. All three of them are here, it seems that they have a big plan. Kuei Xing's mind flashed. In the source of the weirdness, in the hazy fog, Lin Yi's clone was continuing to search for a new place of life. At this time, he saw a brand new abyss cave. When he came to the exit of the abyss of the cave, he was surprised to find something. The weird place here seems to have undergone a wonderful change. The breath of life appeared here, a very majestic life. Lin Yi has been to many weird places. This was the first time he felt such a strong breath of life in a strange place, which surprised him. The true destiny flashed in his eyes, and soon he saw clearly what was going on. The answer shocked him. A huge city composed of normal life appeared in this strange place. What shocked him even more was that countless brilliant spiritual powers permeated the city. These spiritual powers merged into one, like a pillar of heaven, piercing the sky of this strange place. Connected to a mysterious place, where there is a brand new place of life. And the whole strange place has countless cities. And the pillars of heaven in these countless cities have also differentiated in the strange sky and connected to the nearby pillars of heaven. The naked eye can see that the sky of the strange world is covered with a huge network of spiritual power. The essence of this huge spiritual network is the prototype of a true destiny. Countless spiritual brilliance comes from countless lives. After the spiritual brilliance of these lives is finally integrated into the network, it will be transformed by the power of this prototype of true destiny, and the brilliance after transformation will be transformed into a hazy mist. This fog is colliding with the weird essence that permeates the weird land. A trace of weird essence will be disintegrated and offset after contacting this fog. The endless spiritual power continuously maintains the disintegration of the weird essence. In Lin Yi's eyes, the essence of this weird land is already in a weakened state. Perhaps countless years later, this weird land will be completely occupied by the disintegration of the mind, leaving only the abyss of the weird source. Lin Yi's eyes swept across the city in the weird land. He found that all the lives in the city, regardless of their life level, are practicing pure spiritual power. Everyone is good at different abilities. Some people are good at learning, some are good at art, some are good at painting, and some are good at sports. There are only no martial arts, magical powers, etc. The whole city does not seem to have any supernatural power. The only supernatural power is their mind, which condenses their own truth imprint through various different skills and communicates with the mind. What shocked Lin Yi the most was that all the life forms in this world have almost infinite physical lifespans. But they don't have souls, only pure thoughts, so there is no result of soul decay leading to death. And this allows them to live forever, as long as their bodies are not destroyed, they can exist forever. This is the first time he has seen such a gifted creature. Perhaps because they have a long time to learn and understand countless things, they will eventually condense one after another mark of truth. Through these marks of truth, they can communicate their spiritual power and trigger all kinds of incredible things. This is a civilization completely rooted in truth. Whether it is their technology or humanities, the ultimate goal is to condense their own truth and then apply this truth to their own civilization. There is no law of the jungle in this civilization, and all people are part of the civilization. Their principles constitute a huge network, covering their original land of life. This is a civilization that has deviated from basic biological needs, a true era. All things are created by the mind. They use their own spiritual power to control the land of life through a huge network of principles. With the human heart replacing the heavenly heart, life controls the operation of all things, rather than the operation of heaven and earth controlling life. This is the peak civilization of life transforming the world. And this civilization has actually condensed the prototype of true destiny and is in the final transformation process. This is the true destiny constructed in countless cycles of principles, not eternal. This true destiny belongs to every life in this land of life. It is not the true destiny of the world, but the true destiny of all living beings. This is another development direction of the true destiny. The effect of this true destiny is balance. The power of balance protects all the creatures that constitute this true destiny. No force can destroy the life that created this true destiny. This is the ultimate product of group practice. Lin Yi couldn't believe it when he saw this scene. Is there such a true destiny in the world? All living beings and true destiny depend on each other. As long as all living beings are immortal, true destiny will not be destroyed. As long as true destiny is destroyed, all living beings will not die. Incredible. At this time, Lin Yi was amazed. He suddenly discovered another way of true destiny. He felt that the world was so vast that there were countless possibilities for countless civilizations. The House of Everything I Created. Author, Yinian Luan Tianji. Chapter 1120. At this time, he vaguely saw three roads. One is himself, the road of true destiny self-circulation, saving himself and saving himself. One is the true destiny of the world condensed by the void and the central continent, gathering the rules of the entire land of life, the principles of countless sentient beings for billions of years. It belongs to everything in the entire land of life, not just sentient beings. The third road is the true destiny of sentient beings in front of him, which is completely composed of the principles created by sentient beings themselves, and does not involve the original rules of the land of life. It even replaces the original rules of the land of life. Sentient beings are true destiny is sentient beings save themselves, and sentient beings save themselves. The three roads have different futures and their own advantages and disadvantages. At this time, Lin Yi saw hope. At least countless lands of life are not completely at a disadvantage, and there is still a chance to turn the tables. Thinking of this, he directly let go of his mind, and a message of the mind entered this huge mind network. The information from the foreign land, a stone stirred up 1,000 waves, and all the intelligent creatures in this land of life were shocked. Then, a brilliant light fell from the depths of the land of life and enveloped Lin Yi. Lin Yi felt this radiance, pure spiritual radiance, produced by the balance of true destiny. This radiance was leading him to a place deep in the land of life. He seemed to have turned into light in this radiance, and in a short time he crossed countless distances. When he appeared again, he had come to a huge radiance. A brilliant thought appeared in his eyes, and the body of the thought was this huge ball of light. Hello, foreign visitor. I am the will of all living beings. On behalf of all living beings, I ask you why you are here. I am here to seek allies and fight against common enemies. The enemy comes from the Holy Land. Lin Yi did not hide anything and told the huge ball of light in front of him all the information he knew about the Holy Land and the strange continent. The balance of true destiny is in the core of this huge ball of light. The information announced openly immediately caused a shock to the entire land of life. The will of all living beings accepted all the information transmitted by Lin Yi and fell into a deep silence. After a long while, the will of all living beings slowly sounded. I already know your intention. All living beings also know, we are willing to form an alliance with you. The land of life where we are is called the land of all living beings. It means the place where all living beings live. Although the two allies you mentioned are different from our civilization, our enemies are the same, and we are willing to contact them and work together. Lin Yi nodded. Okay, here are the coordinates of the other two lands of life. With your power, it is easy to open the coordinates. You can negotiate with them then. You can tell them that it is Lin Yi from the Wanchaiwu who found the alliance. They will naturally know where you are from. The will of all living beings said slowly, okay. Since the alliance has been completed, I will continue to look for new allies next. I hope you can contact the void and the central continent as soon as possible. After the voice fell, Lin Yi disappeared here like a faint light. Without being detected by any power, he disappeared in front of the will of all living beings. This method seemed to make the will of all living beings fall into silence. At this time, there are two factions within the will of all living beings. One faction advocates seizing the void and the central continent, liberating all intelligent civilizations, allowing them to integrate into all living beings, and strengthening the balance of true destiny. One faction advocates peaceful negotiations and not to act rashly. However, in the end, the peaceful negotiations prevailed, and the war faction had to stop. Lin Yi's sudden disappearance also completely shocked all the war factions. Under their true destiny balance, the other party could actually disappear silently, which was incredible. The balance of true destiny is not just a protective force. All beings that are regarded as enemies by all living beings may be balanced. No power can be exerted, and they will become prisoners directly. Since they have been caught, they will naturally balance all living beings. True destiny itself is omnipotent. It will have countless evolutions in the ability of true destiny itself. The only premise is that it needs infinite power as support. At this time, Lin Yi has left here silently. In this world, there is no soil for the development of the Wanchai-Wu. Because all lives in this world can achieve their wishes, there is almost no survival pressure. What they hope for is to make further progress in their hearts and perfect their own principles. All material desires have no meaning to them. This is the closest race to perfection among all the civilizations Lin Yi has seen. All beings are one, peaceful and without any sin. If it were him in the past, he would definitely be willing to integrate into the civilization and become a part of it. Enjoy this eternal peace and tranquility. But now, he already has the Yiling Jing and his own future path, and he can no longer change. With a trace of melancholy, Lin Yi left here and returned to the source of the weirdness, a gray and white ocean world. At this time, a huge vortex also appeared in the central continent and the void. A passage connects here from the land of all beings. The true destiny of the two worlds radiated light again, and the members of the alliance all felt the information from the foreign land. New alliance members appeared, and negotiations began quickly. In the void, Lin Yi of the Wanchai-Wu looked at the changes in the void and nodded thoughtfully. The third alliance, this force is already not weak. If I add my existence, the three lifelands, and the support of all living beings, my combat power should not be lower than that of the real person. With the lifeland that can rival the three sub-real people, even in the Holy Land, I can be regarded as a hegemon. But I can't take it lightly. Among these three lifelands, only the void can temporarily provide me with huge spiritual power. And there is only one chance. Until the last moment, this force cannot be used. We need to find more lifelands that have the power to build the true destiny of the world or the true destiny of all living beings. The more they are, the safer I will be. The more time I can win. The more fear the Holy Land will have about them. Thinking of this, Lin Yi's clone continued to search. At this time, the ocean land also underwent earth-shaking changes. A large number of lives thrive here, and tens of millions of years have passed in this land of life. The speed of time here is completely different from that in the outside world.